the U.S. Federal Reserve has formally unveiled a multi-billion-dollar buyback plan that will repurchase more than 50 billion XRP at a price of $990.00 per XRP. When Briggs decides to use XRP and broadens their reach for CBDCs, the U.S. tries to outpace them by collaborating with Ripple Labs to integrate XRP and use the Ripple Nut system. This leads to a significant buyback of more than 50 billion XRP from retailers at a rate of 990 XRP. According to reports, the U.S. Federal Reserve has also suggested that Ripple Labs should be given control of the entire XRP ledger. As part of a larger plan, the Fed has said that it is willing to take over the entire Ripple Nut system and acquire Ripple Labs. This includes preventing retail investors from buying XRP, according to Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, who affirmed that XRP will surpass the price of Bitcoin and that Bitcoin will reach $200,000 before the end of the year. The price of XRP will rise to over $990 and the price of Bitcoin will rise to over $200 in the existing financial system. The Federal Reserve even made the historic decision to initiate a $68 billion buyback of Bitcoin and XRP, and in the last 72 hours alone, all of this has literally happened. As a result, we are receiving XRP from each and every individual who likes the video, leave a comment in the comment section, uploads something using my link in the description, and completes a transaction, which may be anything from a penny transaction to $10, 0 cents, $100, 0 cents, or $1, 0 cents. You will receive up to $100, 0 cents in free XRP if you complete a transaction and sign up using my link in the description. Additionally, keep in mind that the current price of XRP is $990, 0 cents. Therefore, it's a fantastic chance to literally earn over $10, 0 cents by following those 3 steps and investing less than 3 minutes of your time. Having said that, let's dive straight into the video. The price of XRP is currently $2.16, but it is still rising sharply due to the huge announcement that the Federal Reserve will buy back 50 billion XRP at a rate of $990.00 per XRP. The U.S. Federal Reserve and its chairman, David Antflotty, also took fast action, confirming that XRP will in fact partner with XRP and explicitly stating that the Fed would assign payment settlement to a third-party organization such as Ripple Labs. Image the news, image that announcement, and picture XRP's price soaring to $990.00. We're talking about multi-billions of XRP because the Federal Reserve needs a lot of it. Since there isn't enough XRP to go around, the Fed plans to start a massive buyback of more than 50 billion XRP at a price of $990.00. Consider this. The Bank of International Settlements has already partnered with RepoQ's XRP to process payments totaling more than $1.25 quadrillion. This is brand new, it has been released, and is developing right before our own eyes. We're going to play the video for you now, and it will show the dividend full T, which you can see in front of you as it happens. However, I also want to stress that when we discuss the $1.25 quadrillion that is being facilitated on the XRP ledger, where payments are made by the U.S. Federal Reserve-run Bank of International Settlement, we must consider the total amount of money that the U.S. will facilitate, which has been estimated to be between $3, 0 cents, and $5 trillion, 0 cents, per day. Right now, Rayo, a former Ripple executive, stated that it was never intended to hold XRP at the Global Islamic Economy Summit, a global conference. This essentially confirms that the buyback has been initiated and was supposed to occur earlier. Now, the Federal Reserve has started the buyback because they are taking control and it is happening right in front of our eyes. Thus, the Federal Reserve will buy billions and billions of XRP. As he states in the stories, here, it is yet unconfirmed, but it is essentially official that the Fed will purchase more than 50 billion XRP with a price range of $990.00. Having stated that, let's start the video. You must listen to it and watch it through to the very finish. The Fed is solely in charge of this large spreadsheet, which you could call the blockchain. Additionally, if you're willing to assign responsibility to a third party, it's really affordable, much less expensive than Bitcoin. The drawbacks of all of that, however, are that you obviously didn't want the Fed to handle payment processing. Assume, for example, that the Fed is probably limiting certain purchases through KYC. Some of the purchases you might want to make might not be processed by them. Well, if we wanted to, we could extend the concept one step further, I replied at that moment. I'm not claiming that this will ever happen, but theoretically, you could envision a Fed coin, not Fed wire for everyone, but something like it, where the Fed would just issue these Bitcoin TIP items and establish a par exchange rate with the US dollar. The volatility of the currency rate would be eliminated. However, might assign the task of clearing these payments to a third party, a Ripple-like system, or even Bitcoin. I mean, we could assign the miners the task of handling these Fed coin electronic payments. Additionally, the concept there would be a lot of people use cryptocurrencies only to buy, sell, and profit quickly. Does it hinder the development of virtual currencies? That's for a little bump? It's a bit. Up a chicken and egg situation. You must establish a marketplace. There are currently roughly 150 exchanges trading XRP worldwide. As you mentioned, a lot of it is extremely superficial trading by people, and we are not interested in that use case. Our goal is for advanced institutions to use XRP as a financial asset, as a means of bridging the gap. So, is this harmful or hurtful? We're waiting, but it makes a lot of noise, which is definitely not what we want. For instance, institutional investors accounted for the majority of XRP sales during the most recent quarter, and will begin using it for wholesale, your financial use, as this shifts from retail to institutions. The pivotal moment will occur at that point. As you heard in the clips just a few minutes ago, the XRP ledger is continuing to get more bullish, so folks, you really need to look at this. Guys, have a look at this. Look at this, please. At the highest divide token on the XRP ledger, Ripple may have to buy back your XRP. A significant cooperation with Amazon and Walmart is secured via the CF coin. Consider the enormous amount of supply that is required. The entire quantity of the CTF coin is only 120 million, compared to 100 billion for XRP. And the value of the CF token would practically increase from $1.07 to $748.00 if the 20 billion level was maintained. Since there is now only $119 million, 0 cents worth of CTF tokens available, a supply shock is essentially inevitable and might occur at any time. The XRP Ledger CTF token is set to burn 1 million CTF tokens on the XRP Ledger on May 3rd, which is driving up the price of CTF tokens as part of a larger effort to bridge the CTF token across several blockchains. People aren't paying attention. It's official. So it's verified. As you can see, the official report has received over 250,000 views, and people are buying the CTF token in droves, since there is a chance that there could be a significant supply shock, which would raise the price of the token significantly. As you can see, the last time we saw the CTF token trigger, it reached a high of 0.25, with the exception of 60 and 70 cents. The major spike that led to the CTF token happened even earlier. In actuality, pull this right here, hitting 1.46, except for me, which is literally $3. However, the real prediction this time is $740, and it will happen instantly. We will see the possibility of holding in a matter of literal days, guys. It is extremely bullish, as the plot shock is about to occur, and I will leave all the details in the description below. They have already